Hopefully everyone's having an awesome week so far. We are going to be reviewing the PTS Week 5 patch notes for Update 41 for the Elder Scrolls Online. This is it. This is the last week of PTS changes before the patch goes through in another 2 weeks. And it's Update 41, the first quarter patch, is going to come out on March 11th. And yeah, let's get to it. So we do have a somewhat unexpected, but also expected change to, I guess, the mythic item, the newest mythic item coming out with Update 41, called Torque of the Last Alien King. I made a whole video on it covering the item set or mythic and how bad it is. So we'll get to that. It seems there's a curious fix to where Azure Blight Reaper, Deadliest Assassin, and the Ice Furnace were not properly respecting their cooldowns, following some previous bug fixes in this update. I think some people asked in the SOU if this is just affecting like the proc cooldowns. I don't think so. I believe it's specifically alluding to the changes that were fixes that they implemented for Update 41. So on Update 40, nothing should be changed. On Update 41, I don't think anything should change, considering this was a PTS bug, not a live bug or a expected patch change. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll keep an eye on it. Torque of the Last Alien King. This set now grants elite weapon and spell damage. 1337 weapon and spell. Why this specific number? It's probably just for fun. 500 health, magicka, and stamina recovery. Not bad. And reduces your damage taken by 15% rather than increasing your damage and healing done by 20%. And reducing your damage taken by 20%. Fixed an issue where this set was missing a default enchantment or trait. The default enchantment is now multi-effect or yeah, okay. And now it's Triune for Trait Stone, and multi-effect is Prismatic Health, Magic, and Stamina Recovery. I don't really see anything else. There's just been a bunch of fixes to the new houses coming out, or some of the old house bugs. There's Anniversary Jubilee adjustments for the upcoming April event, double XP. Just a fix or adjustment to the gamepad mode. So that's really it. That's like the mythic change is the biggest change and the only change, in my opinion, that's worth kind of discussing here at this point. So is it good? I think that's the question, and I'm sure I'll cover it in my video about item sets coming out with Update 41. So I'm on the PTS actually, where we can take a look at it, the actual tooltip here. So just like the patch note says, it comes with a default multi-effect enchantment, Triune, Trait Stone. The One Piece bonus offers the 1337 weapon and spell damage, 500 magical recovery, 500 stamina recovery. I think, yeah, okay. Wait, so it says 500 health on the patch notes, but I don't see that 500 health recovery on the PTS. That could be a bug. I know Skinny Chicks also tested this, and that the weapon and spell damage isn't there or is bugged as well. So we don't really have the precise idea of what the Mythic will offer players or if it's worth getting. But yeah, the last portion of the bonus is reduced damage taken by 15%. Disables all other item set bonuses. So okay, we went from a 20% damage taken mitigation and plus 20% more damage done while disabling every other item set bonus that you have equipped. So it just comes down to what type of armor you have and resistances as a result of specific types of armor, whether it's light, medium, or heavy. And when you equip it, it actually shows you the same thing I showed in PTS Week 1. It just says, okay, for example, if you're trying to wear 5-piece Vex Ring of Duality, you're going to have everything disabled. You will have no max mag, no max stam. That 5th-piece bonus proc will not come active. As a result, you're wearing this Mythic. And this applies to everything. 1-piece bonuses, 2-piece bonuses, 3-piece bonuses, 4-piece bonuses, 5-piece bonuses, 1-piece monster sets, everything. Even, you know, arena weapons will be canceled out. So, is it worth it? In a pure numbers game, no, it's still not worth it. I think this iteration is a bit better than the first. The first was like, what the hell? Okay, sure, 20% damage mitigation, that's okay. But 20% damage of what? Like, you do 20% more of what damage do you even have? So I think adding the weapon spell damage straight up, adding the sustain, very nice. You still get that mitigation. If you are going for the best option, the best mythics, I don't think this is it. I feel like this is more of a convenience mythic. the more I think about it, the more I look at it. And of course, they do have a developer comment we didn't see here. We've adjusted this set to now offer flat values. Very nice. The original percent-based values were generally weaker in most situations, as losing a ton of flat stats from other sets meant the percent increase had less numbers to work with. Yep. We've also adjusted the stats to be more universally usable by builds, so it felt less spread out at what the set is intended to help with. With the new bonuses, we hope that this Mythic acts as a simple one and done, equip and forget item set that helps enable, simpler solo play for those who aren't interested in the deck building aspect to itemization. Okay, alright, so obviously, everyone called it out week 1, and that's why I was so surprised that this Mythic adjustment didn't come sooner, like week 3 or even 4 or even 2, honestly. But yeah, they obviously saw that it was basically completely useless. Now they've given flat values like open spell damage. And I'm kind of interested by the reasoning here, that they've adjusted the stats to be more universally usable by builds. So I can kind of see that, like, okay, you maybe if you're a healer spec, you get the benefit out of both the damage plus the sustain. And of course, free mitigation is good across the board for like tanking, DPSing, and healing, depending on I guess you don't really have a setup, so I can't say that because it's just one item you use. But yeah, I can see that. As a tank, if you're gonna use it, sure, free mitigation. Again, probably not a good mythic to use for if you want to optimize, but I can see where they're going with this now, where it says, okay, because they didn't even mention this part. They didn't mention who it was for, which was the most confusing thing too, because, okay, this is a useless mythic. Who exactly was this for? Well, now we have reasoning. We hope that this mythic acts as a simple one and done, equip and forget item set that helps enable simpler solo play. So I'm assuming, I don't know what they mean by simpler solo play, but maybe it's just like, well, what if you just don't care about what items you wear or item sets, or maybe you just don't have time to slap on together a setup? Just slap this on. And I feel like this mythic is an echo of the previous iterations of Oaken Soul. But I can see, at least with Oaken Soul, as far as both PvE and PvP go, there were like maybe 2 to 4 setups you could do with it. Obviously for PvE, if you want to go a heavy attack build, you had to combine Sergeant's Mail and so forth with that mythic to make it work. Whereas with this one, it's more like, okay, instead of, it's just dumb. It's just dumber Oaken Soul. It's like, okay, you don't have to use anything with it. In fact, you can't use anything with it. So here you go. Okay. I've seen some YouTube comments too say, oh, you could just probably use it for dueling. And I'm like, okay, sure. That's definitely a player based, I guess, like usage of this. But if the developer's intended usage for this is you slap it on and that's it, okay, cool, I can see that. But I probably would not. I probably don't see anyone using this in a serious setting. It's more, I feel like, just super casual. Get it, use it, and forget about it. And I don't know exactly how this translates well for newer players. It feels like the Mythic system or the Antiquity system is more of a towards end game, or at least late mid game kind of system you interface with as players. I don't see brand new players being like, oh my god, I want to get that mythic, and then grinding Antiquities and all the other associated skill lines to do this mythic. So okay, whatever. But yeah, that's really it for PTS week 5. Again, super surprised to see that this wasn't changed anytime sooner. I think it's better than the previous iteration. Is it the best? No. Is it gonna be used by newer players? Probably not. Is it gonna be used by people who are just lazy to switch setups or build setups? Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, I think that's fine. But I'm hoping that there's gonna be more interesting, at least to me, interesting and engaging mythics, at least in update 42 with the chapter. So we'll see. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and that's really it. And I'll see you guys in update 41.